Hey guys, my name is Rachel Dio and this is my CIP Roundup Presentation. Just a little background before we get started. I'm an early childhood education major at UNCW, and this past summer I was an intern for the children's ministry at Calvary Church in Charlotte, North Carolina. And that's the building right there. I actually grew up in that church, and I've known many of my coworkers since I was an early teen, and I've known my boss, this woman right here, since I was 5. How were my learning objectives met? The first objective was met by having 2 lesson plan meetings a week with my coworkers throughout the summer. One was for preschool and kindergarten age children, and the other was for 1st through 5th grade children. In both meetings, I would offer insight on activities and games that were developmentally appropriate and pertained to the lesson. For the second learning objective, unfortunately, I wasn't able to fully grasp and understand creating and developing lesson plans for children with disabilities. While I do have a brief knowledge from my schooling here at UNCW, I wanted to implement that knowledge this past summer, and I didn't really get a chance. The special needs coordinator doesn't officially start working until later this month, so I didn't really get to learn from her like I wanted to. I believe that I accomplished the last objective well. For example, a coworker wanted me to copy a bifold pamphlet that she could hand out to her students. For some reason, the pamphlet wasn't copying correctly and some of the words and pictures would get cut off. I asked my coworker if there was a way to fix it, and she told me that I could reduce the size percentage of what I was copying, which I did, and it worked. The biggest challenge that I faced this summer was during the week of VBS. I was the nursery coordinator, and the nursery is solely for the children of the volunteers serving for VBS. So my volunteers and I only had about 18 children. I had a volunteer that we'll call Susie, who was in a motorized wheelchair. Despite the rules that I gave during our first meeting and via email, Susie did whatever she thought was best. For example, Susie was late by almost an hour, usually closer to 2. One of the children fell and hit his head on her wheelchair, and instead of reporting it to me like she should have, she reported it to someone who couldn't do anything about it. She'd put children on her lap and zip around on her wheelchair without holding on to them. Susie allowed one child to have 5 bags of goldfish for snack one day when the parent had specifically asked her not to. She took the children outside despite me telling her otherwise, that it was against our security protocol. Unbeknownst to me, she told a parent that her child wasn't allowed back because he wasn't sharing his toys and he was hitting other children. VBS started on a Monday, and all of these incidents occurred by the close of Wednesday. When my coworker called Susie Wednesday afternoon to tell her that she couldn't come back, Susie begged and pleaded with my coworker to let her come back. Susie accused me of lying, and when she did, my coworker caught her in the act. Somehow, Susie managed to talk my coworker into letting her come back and finish out the week, even though nothing really changed. What I learned from this experience is don't let your age keep you from telling your superiors no. I was in a position of authority over Susie, and I made some things sound like suggestions because I was trying to be mindful of the fact that she's my superior, when I should have simply told Susie that there were some things she just couldn't do. I need to be confident in what I know, but be humble, graceful, and kind about it. I struggled with this a lot during the week of VBS, but I've learned from my mistakes and hope to do better next time. My biggest success was definitely VBS. I loved working with the young children the week of VBS, and I had an absolute blast. However, I really enjoyed getting to use my creative and crafty side. I don't get to use it as much as I'd like to, and I really enjoyed helping create, paint, set up, and bring to life the sets of VBS. Another factor of my biggest success was the impact VBS had on the lives of over 700 children and 200 volunteers. How has this internship helped inform me of what my career path is going forward? I love working with children. My boss and coworkers told me on multiple occasions that I have a talent working with them. That they have told me that children flock to me, and that I can get even the shyest of children to come out of their shell, and that I can get some of the most upset children to calm down. I loved getting to use my creative and crafty side and bring to life the sets of VBS. It was exciting to take ideas that my boss had and make them real. Not once all summer did I have the same day twice. The thought of sitting at a desk all day, every day, and staring at a computer scares me. So it was nice to have a positive work environment where I could interact with my coworkers whenever necessary. I was able to get up and move, interact with children, coworkers, volunteers, parents, etc. on a daily basis that allowed me to network and develop connections for the future. Thanks for listening, guys. Hope you have a great day.